Granny's still in the hospital, but I come home yesterday evening and spent the night, and I'm going to stay today, and then I'll go back in the morning. We're hopeful that maybe by the end of this coming week she'll get to come home. She's doing pretty good, kind of stabilized now, but they're trying to get her blood back like they want it. She has to take blood thinners because she has a mechanical heart valve. But then with blood thinners, if you have bleeding, then it's just this whole what do you call it, Matt? Narrow place they're trying to get right in the middle of.
Yeah, it's kind of
balance and act, yeah, to try to fix it. Anyway, so I've got to come home, sleep in my own bed. That was wonderful. Matt and Corey made me a delicious meal last night. And today, it's a beautiful day, and me and Matt both feel like we're so far behind in the garden. After last year with Miss Cindy, we were like, this year we're going to be so far ahead, and that's just not happened with Granny being sick, and then Corey and Austin moving in, and the baby and all that. But we'll get there, won't we?
We'll get there, get close as we can.
Yeah, get close as we can.
Yeah.
So today I wanted to come out and plant a few things, even though it may not be the best day to plant them. We're just going to do it anyway. But usually by this point I've already put my nasturtiums in the beds back here, so I hope today I can do that. Maybe plant some zinnias and some other things. I want to plant my beets. I waited this year and didn't plant them with our early spring stuff. Our onions and our radishes and lettuce and kale and stuff is beginning to get big enough definitely to eat. We've been eating some of it. But I didn't plant the beets because when I said it was like I used to be able to grow beets, and then all of a sudden I couldn't. Several of you told me that I might be planting them too early, and one person, thank you, told me that her husband said to tell me, plant your beets when the dogwoods are in bloom. So the dogwoods are in bloom now here, so I want to plant some beets today. I don't know if I told Matt that. But I was thinking about planting them in one of these raised beds, like in the front, maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe in that one up there. I don't know. Anyway, mostly flowers. But when I went digging looking for my flowers, I thought usually I like to spread them, everything I've got all out, but this year we're so crunched for time. These are the first ones I put my hands on, and so I just thought I'm just going to bring them out. And these are ones that Katie got me for Christmas. So this is when I think about the zinnias, old maids, is what Granny calls them. Matt's got a buddy here.
Oh, wow.
One that likes to play and scratch. What do you call him? The jungle cat? The puma?
Yeah, the basement puma.
Basement puma. He wants you to pet him, and then when you start petting him, he wants to fight.
Yeah.
He wants to start playing. He's just playing, of course. Anyway, when we think about the zinnias, Matt, I would like to put a long row at where we put the beans and the okra, like down through there in front. Can I do that or no? Is that going to be in your way?
I reckon.
I want to put a big long row down at the big garden, but that's not going to happen today for sure. Anyway, so this is Queen Lime Bush is the name of this one. So I'm guessing they're like a green one. I had a few green ones last year and they were so pretty. That's summer squash. We won't be planting those today. I don't know how that one got in here. This is Old Mexico. I bet those are pretty. These are Eden Brothers where Katie got them, but they don't have any pictures on them. These are Maltese cross seeds. I don't even know what that is. It's a wildflower with tall green stems and clusters of red flowers. That sounds pretty, but I don't know if we'll do that one. Hollyhock. I'd like to plant those. Those are biennials though, so I'm not sure they would bloom this year. It says it may flower the same year or next, so maybe we'll think about those. Love in a Mist. Those are really pretty. I have a few up here though, so I don't know if I'll plant any more of those. I don't know about that one. He's in the tree now. He's going to climb the tree. Cottage Pink, Spring Beauty, mounding with blue-gray foliage. I wonder if that's a dianthus. So I don't know about that one either. French marigold seeds. Last year, if you watch our videos, you remember the marigolds I planted that got as big as me.
Yeah, that's the thought that I have about where you're wanting to plant them other ones. That's what went there, and they're 6 foot tall.
I know. This says dwarf, though. Do you believe it? Those, I think, said dwarf, too, so I don't know if I believe that one. We'll put it out there, though.
I believed, I get worried about believing what's going on here, because I believed we had lots of Cherokee purples last year, too.
Yeah, I know, and then we didn't. We did not. I know. Oh, goodness. Candy Tuft. I don't know about those. Nasturtiums. That's what I was looking for. So this is Phoenix. So we'll definitely plant some of those. Here's some more zinnias. Candy striped mix, that sounds pretty. Sunflower seeds, evening colors, tall green stalks with large yellow and orange 12-inch blossoms and dark center. I don't know if we're ready for sunflowers yet though. Let's see. Ooh, got to drop some. Here's a straw flower. Those are really pretty. Might do those. Here's some nasturtium, the apricot. These are from M.I. Gardner. I really like. I think I bought those. That I love to buy seeds from him. They do really good and they're very affordable. That's another nasturtium, like a pink color. This one's peach, a peach one. There's a purple straw flower, salmon zinnia, candy striped again, and envy. That one's a green one. Those are those real tufted ones. Sunflower, sun gold tall, so I'm not going to do the tall. Velvet queen. Thought I had, oh, there's some dwarf. I thought I'd put some sunflower dwarf back here in this bed. And there's a chocolate, it's a bigger one, and I'm not sure what these are. These are actually cucumbers, so we're not ready for that. So, does that sound good, Matt?
You go plant all that?
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe not all the packet, and plant a little bit of all of them.
Okay.
For the nasturtiums back here, I like to put them in the corners of all of our raised beds, and they just get so pretty. They mound out and flow out. I've got some containers that I could put some in too. Put some flowers in. Might do that. I don't know about the zinnias though. They get too tall. I don't want to put them anywhere back here, but maybe in the front up there. Our problem is when you don't have everything else planted, then if you plant them, then we're liable to mess them up while we're planting the other stuff. So we'll have to think about that and remember where we put them, or we'll plow them up.
Yeah, we don't ever remember nothing like that.
What we should do is put markers. I was better last year about doing markers. Several of you sent me markers, and I did better than I've ever done before on that.
Yeah.
I always mean to, and then I don't do it, and then I forget what I've done, like Matt said, and I think I'll go back and do it, and then I don't really remember what I've done. So, you want to start with the nasturtiums back here, though? That's pretty easy.
Okay.
So what I like to do here in the corner of the beds is just, nasturtiums are so easy to plant. And it has, let me show you the seeds. They're a big seed, so pretty big, about like a bean or a pea. Now some people soak them overnight and then plant them, and that probably makes them germinate faster, I'm sure, but I've never done that, and I'm not going to do it this time. But what I try to do here in the corner, I dropped one, is I like to plant a few different colors just so they go together. So I've got, this is the peach, I'll get one of those, and then maybe I'll get one of these, looks like more of a pink rosy color. I'll get one of those and plant them both here in the corner. The last few years that I've been doing this, they've just been so pretty, and I don't know, I'm tempted to put more than that, but they get so big, maybe I'll just do the two. So I'm just gonna, got my little digger here, just gonna drop them down in there and cover them up. And that's how easy it is to plant them. As I said, you could soak them overnight, and that probably would speed up the germination, but I'm not in any big hurry. The past couple of years I've done it even earlier than this, like at the end of March maybe. This is the end of April now, and just whenever it got warm enough, they germinated. You know, it took a few weeks, but that happened just naturally on its own, and then they grew all summer till the frost got them in the fall. So I'll go around and do that to all the rest of the beds now. I got all the nasturtiums planted. I didn't plant them in every corner because on the tomato bed where we plant them, I just planted in one corner there, just because if I plant them on the back side, you can't even walk through there. It's already hard to walk through there where we have the raised bed and then also the grow bags. Anyway, got that done. I think I'm going to tackle this bed just because it would be nice to be able to put some zinnias in it, but there's so many. Katie's got poppies coming in it. You can see my beautiful irises are blooming. The yarrow back there is about to bloom, but it's got tons of weeds in it too. But I think if Matt will help me, we'll tackle it and plant some of the zinnias in here. You up for that, Matt? He's overjoyed at weeding. I got the flower bed all cleaned out. So many weeds, and the weeds are growing right up through the poppies that Katie's got in there, so that was a nightmare. I'm sure I didn't get them all, but it looks much better. Instead of Matt helping me with the weeds, I decided I knew he didn't want to do that. A chore that would be easier for him anyway was to plant some comfrey that I had. I had bought some comfrey last year at the Satterfields, and it had been in not a raised bed, but a grow bag. I'm trying to think of what I'm saying. Grow bag, and it had become root bound. It just grew so big. And my plan was, when I first bought it, was to plant it around our apple tree that we have right here, just to make it like a little circular thing around it. It's supposed to be good it's like a permaculture thing, supposed to be good for your fruit trees. So I just never got around to doing that. Well, what had happened was it had just become so root bound in there that I knew this year I was going to have to definitely get that job done. But with Granny, of course, being in the hospital, I've not done it, but Matt did it for me. So now that's all done. I quit worrying about that. So he just, how far out from the tree, Matt? Probably 2 feet, something like that? About 2 feet out, just made a circular thing, and we cut the comfrey back, it was about to be in full bloom, but we cut all that off just because it was so tall, it would have been hard to plant, and just planted the roots. It'll come back out. Comfrey's pretty hardy plant. And I started growing it years ago because of medicinal values, and you can look that up and see what you think about that. We've not really used it much for anything like that other than like on little abrasions or something. You can even just put the leaf on there, it's supposed to help. But it's really a pretty plant too. And then it's like a really good fertilizer. So I have used it to like cut back the leaves and then put them around, whether it's the fruit tree or something else. It's a really good plant to use as a fertilizer. Anyway, Matt got that done, and I'm so glad because I've been wanting to do that since last year. Now I'm ready to plant here. And Matt also went and got the tractor. I asked him, I said, don't you just want to use the wheelbarrow? He said, no thanks, he'd use the tractor, but he put mulch around the apple tree, and then he's brought some for me to put in the flower bed there. So I think I'm going to also put some nasturtiums, especially over on this side of it, towards where you go around the corner of the house. I'm going to put some nasturtiums in there. I'm going to put some zinnias in the back, and then I went inside and found some, what did I find? Some cosmos. The thing about this flower bed is you can't just put anything there because it gets so much heat in the evening, and then the sun's shining this way, and then it radiates from the house, and it just gets like an oven right there. So some stuff does really good, and then other stuff just can't handle that heat. But I know the cosmos can because I had them there, I think, the last 2 years. So I found some cosmos. I'm going to put them there. And I found this one, I don't know, Gazania, I guess, Gazania. Someone had sent me that, and it says that it likes really heat, lots of dry heat, so I'm going to put some of those. And then in the front, also, around where I was going to put the nasturtiums, I'm going to put some of the dwarf sunflowers. I had them there last year, and that was one of my favorite places with the dwarf sunflowers and then the pink, like magenta cosmos. It was just so lovely. So maybe I can recreate that this year. Anyway, I hope that I can. Apple tree's about finished blooming, but this is the one that Matt planted the comfrey around and got the mulch around it. That comfrey will come back up, and I think it'll look real nice. And plus, I hope it'll be good for the tree too. This bed looks much better. Back there in the back, that's the anemone, September charm, that kind of takes over. Took it 15 years to start taking over, but it sure does now. Then beside it is some lamb's ear that I got last year from the Satterfields, and it really loves this wonderful heat here. Then this is a lily, and I can't remember. I think that's some seeds that Granny gave me from her tiger lily, so I'll have to wait and see what color it is and then see if I can remember exactly where I got it. Up here in the front's where I planted the dwarf sunflowers, also some cosmos and some zinnias, old maids as Granny calls them. So those will be really pretty. The promise of them coming up is really nice to think about. Some of my yarrow back there in the back. You can see one little poppy right there. This is some cosmos that just reseeded themselves from last year, and I planted some more cosmos and those other gazania. I planted those about right there by the hosta. We'll see what they do. You see the beautiful lilies are blooming now. Not lilies, irises, sorry. Beautiful irises. They're really pretty. I have this purple color that Granny gave me, and then I also have like a yellowy pale color that's the same as these irises. I should put them together. That would be really pretty. In this front part, you can see, this is like right when you come around the corner of the house, all those poppies. You can really see how many of them there is now. If Katie was out here, she could tell me. I'm thinking cactus poppy, but that may not be right. I can't remember. I'll ask Katie and let you know. And then the tulips that didn't bloom this year, but maybe they'll bloom next year. Then on this side of the house, I have a long row of miniature hostas, which I really love. Right here in the corner, though, I planted some nasturtiums to fill in this place. I can't remember what I used to have here. Maybe I had a large hosta and I dug it up. I can't remember. But a pleasant surprise is I had forgot that there was dianthus here. So here's some dianthus. Hopefully it'll continue to grow this year and just fill in this space. Dianthus is one of my favorite flowers too. I just think it's so pretty. I love the spikiness of the leaves, but then also the blooms. And sometimes the blooms have a real sweet, peppery. It's what makes me think of pepper and sweetness all at the same time. So it's a really pretty plant. Feels so good to have those flowers planted. I should be worrying about food to eat instead of flowers, but I guess flowers, they say, feed your soul, so maybe it's good that I went ahead and got them planted. I sure do love how that looks now. Those weeds were really bad, really driving me crazy. I was sitting here when Matt was finishing with the mulch and moving the tractor, sitting here thinking, I'm so relaxed. This is like the most relaxed. It just feels so good, and I was feeling the breeze on my face and looking at the beautiful green up that's happened in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and just thinking about how nice it was to sit here. And I was like, I feel so relaxed. It's like there's not a care in the world. Why do I feel like that? And then I realized was because you've not even been at home in 2 weeks. That's why you feel like that. This is your place. This is your home. And certainly staying with Granny is not drudgery. We love her, so that's wonderful. But staying, in a place that's not home, and certainly a bigger city than we're used to, with lots of traffic and lots of people and lots of noise all hours of the night. Brasstown pretty much settles down when it gets dark, and you don't hear much, in the way of traffic or bustle and hustle. But cities are not like that. Anyway, so much different environment than I'm used to, and I think that's why it just has really done me good to be out here today. Those commercials used to be, milk does a body good. Well, I guess being outside and gardening does Tipper good, does my body good for sure. So I've really enjoyed it. And of course it was nice to get something accomplished too, but mostly I just really feel like it lifted my spirits and helped me to relax a little bit. And I'm looking forward to when Granny gets to come home and I can be back out here every day doing the things that I love and being amazed like I am every year at how the world grows, becomes new all over again in the mountains of Appalachia. I know it does that in other places too, but I've only lived here, so that's all I can speak to. But it's an amazing thing to witness the growth that happens from early spring all the way till the end of August, end of summer, and 1st of September. By that time, I'm wishing it would all go away. I want something to Jack Frost to come push it back, but it's an amazing thing that I dearly love and really does feed my soul. That may sound kind of silly, but it does something for me. I hope you enjoyed seeing those flowers that I planted, and hope you'll keep coming back all summer so we can see if my nasturtiums do as good as they have the last few years. They're just so beautiful, and they're edible. You can eat them too if you didn't know that. The flower, the seed, the bloom, all of it, you can eat them, and they're really just beautiful. But so I'll be looking forward to them, and Katie's poppies that have multiplied since last year, and then the zinnias and the dwarf sunflowers and the Garzinia. I think that was it. One of you sent me that. Thank you. So it'll be interesting to see if they all come up. Cosmos, I planted some cosmos too. Really makes me anxious to plant the rest of our garden, and more flowers I want to put up in front and in the big garden too. And first year of time we're going to get to plant corn, and that's coming really quick. So I'm hopeful and that Granny will get to come home and we can get started with all that. I really appreciate all your prayers and your messages and your nice things and cards and things you've done for Granny. All the love you showered on her and us, we just could never thank you enough. And I'll be headed back that way early in the morning and give Steve and Paul a reprieve and let them rest. And hopefully by the end of the week, I'm really hoping that Granny will be back home. And I'll be back to making videos more on a regular basis. Corey and Matt's done the line share for sure for me, and I really appreciate both of them and thankful for their help. I'm always glad though, whether it's me or them, or whether I'm outside or inside or what I'm doing, that you stop by to help me celebrate Appalachia.